This video will demonstrate some techniques used to conduct a brief intervention, the BI in SBIRT. We use motivational interviewing techniques to provide a judgment-free space to explore with the patient more about their substance use. The goal is not necessarily to get someone to agree to change in those few short minutes, but to at least start a conversation, one they possibly have never had before, about their use. There are a few hard and fast rules about how to conduct a BI. But you do want to start by asking for permission from the patient first before bringing up the subject. Here is one example. Hi, are you Katie?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Beth. I'm the nurse that works with the nurse practitioner, Mrs. Smith, that you just saw. Do you have a moment to talk?
Sure. What's this about?
I know you were here to get a prescription for birth control, but while you were waiting to see Mrs. Smith, you filled out a healthy habits questionnaire, and you answered some questions about your marijuana use. Would it be okay if I asked you some questions about how marijuana plays a role in your life?
Sure.
I noticed you use marijuana regularly, and I wanted to ask you more about that.
Well, they just decriminalized it in Virginia. It's not a big deal. I'm not in trouble, am I?
No, not at all. Not at all. I just wanted to ask you how it helps you and how you use it. Can you tell me a little more about how you use it?
It's not a big deal. It's just like a couple times a week to relax.
It may seem unnecessary, but reflecting the patient's answers is very helpful here. It shows you are listening and willing to hear more about their issues. Marijuana is really useful in your life in helping you relax.
Yeah, I'm here on an academic scholarship, so I have to keep my grades up, and I'm on the debate team, so there's a lot going on.
Affirmation is a type of reflection. You're listening to what the patient is saying and turning it into a positive statement about their strengths. This is really helpful in brief interventions. You don't have a lot of time with this patient, and you want to develop a trusting relationship. Having them know that you see them in a positive light will help develop trust. You're a very successful student and you have a lot of responsibilities. It's really adding to your stress.
Well, yeah. The truth is, I'm the first in my family to go to college, so I don't know. I guess I'm in a bit over my head.
You've been very successful academically, and the transition to college has been hard for you.
I've always been an anxious person. Pot just helps me calm my nerves. Am I in trouble?
I promise you're not in trouble. I want to help. During a BI, you could ask about the positives and negatives of their substance abuse. Always start with the positives first so that you can end discussing the negative or downsides of their use. Tell me, besides helping you relax, what are some positives about pot?
Well, some of these kids are just so much more sophisticated than me, so I guess when I party with them, I feel like I'm fitting in. I don't know how else to explain it.
When you use pot in a group, you feel more at home with your peers and more accepted. It's okay if your reflection isn't perfect and doesn't line up with how the patient feels. In the spirit of MI, you are partnering with them and trying to understand their situation.
I don't know if I feel more accepted, more like I'm trying to fit in by using it.
So, how is it working to help you fit in?
I'm not sure it is.
So, smoking pot with your peers to try to fit in more, but it doesn't seem to be making you feel more comfortable with your friends.
Yeah.
What are some downsides to smoking pot?
I don't know. It helps me relax, but I guess I'm nervous I'll get caught. My parents would kill me if they knew that I smoked.
So, smoking pot doesn't help you feel more socially comfortable with your peers, and it increases your stress because you're worried about your family and legal consequences.
Yeah.
Can you think of any other downsides to smoking pot?
Well, I don't have the money for it. I just usually bum it off my roommate. Her parents give her a lot of spending money, but I don't know, it's kind of embarrassing to have to do that.
So smoking pot also reminds you of your financial situation and you don't have extra cash to spend on things.
Yeah.
Katie, it sounds like smoking pot is helping you somewhat and helping you relax, and it's also causing you a lot of stress because you're trying to use it to fit in and that's not helping. You're worried about getting caught, you're worried about family disapproval. Having said all that, what do you think you want to do about your pot use?
I don't know. When you put it that way, it doesn't sound like a very good habit.
Always ask for permission before offering advice. Would it be okay if I made a suggestion?
Okay.
You mentioned at the beginning of our conversation that you have a history of dealing with anxiety. Have you ever talked to a counselor about that?
No. We don't do that kind of thing in my family.
Can you tell me more?
It's just not done. I don't know. It's something for crazy people, and we definitely do not have the money for it.
So the idea of counseling in your family is for crazy people only, and it's looked down upon, and the cost would cause a problem too.
Yeah. I just don't see it happening.
Katie, we know that many kids come to college and have a lot of stress and deal with a lot of anxiety. And we've also found that when they talk to our counselors and learn specific skills about dealing with anxiety, they do much better. And it's been really successful for a lot of kids. I'm wondering if you think it might be helpful for you.
I don't know.
Can you describe why you're hesitant?
Well, I don't have the money for it, so I can't pay for it, and my parents wouldn't approve.
Well, the cost is free, and the counseling services we provide, we're legally obligated to protect your privacy. We can't tell your parents. There are some exceptions to that privacy rule, including mostly if we're concerned about your safety.
What, like suicidal?
Exactly.
Ugh, I would never do that.
Well, we can go into some more specifics if you decide to see the counselor about what privacy rules there are, but for the most part, you wouldn't need to worry about us sharing anything with your parents.
Okay, I guess I'll think about it.
So if you're walking out now, I can walk out with you and just take you around to the counseling center. I can even introduce you to one of the counselors.
Do I have to go there?
No, not at all. I just wanted to show you where it is and make sure you know about our resources here at the college.
Okay, sure.
Great, let's go.
The conversation between Katie and the nurse lasted about 6 minutes. They had an open conversation about the pros and cons of her substance use. Katie did not agree to stop using marijuana, nor did she agree to see a counselor. But it was considered a successful brief intervention, though, as Katie has now explored a different perspective on her drug use and is more aware of the resources available to her. Thanks for watching.